Hello and welcome back to the channel. This is Super Coach Challenges, and today we'll be looking at the teams for round 10. I think there's been a few changes that may have affected some teams more than others, but I think I had a quick look through and there wasn't too much affecting the rookies we were looking at bringing in and the ones that came out in my last video. Thanks for all the support on that, the guys commenting. If you have any questions related to rookies, chuck them down in the comments and I'll try and get to them as soon as I can. I'm also going to look at bringing and doing a premium video hopefully tonight as well, to kind of discuss a few of those going into round 10 as well, and try and figure out who might be the targets ongoing into the next round and before the buys. So let's go and have a look at Port Adelaide versus Melbourne. So the big one here obviously is that Bryn Teakle has been omitted. So if you were looking at bringing him in as a ruckman, or you had brought him in as a ruckman, it looks like it's been a bit of a bad move maybe. I think he made 40k or so not too much money. We can actually check that here. And for those who don't know, there obviously is a challenge if you want to, and that's why the team is a bit weird. If you want to have a look at that and see how it all works, head on over to the review videos. I'm thinking now we might actually have to use a boost and get another lower player, or maybe even skip on Weddle just because of the way this is shaping up, but we'll go through that at the end. So looking at Teakle, he's seen only a 50k rise, so that really sucks. It looked like it was a bit weird that they did drop him for Lyset for him at the start. And it probably makes sense now that he has been dropped. He has been showing a little bit of bad form. It also might make a little bit of sense with the fact that they're playing Melbourne, and Gawn Grundy combo might be just way too much for a guy like Teakle to be able to come up against. But maybe it was surprising they didn't just keep Teakle and they went with two rucks of their own. But I guess it was too hard to drop anyone else. So a good thing that has come out is it looks like Evans and Ollie Lord have both held their spots. So if you're looking at bringing those guys in, you could still. I think Lord might look, just by the way that they've named the lineup, him being at full forward in the pocket might be a little bit more safe than Evans, but you never know. Otherwise with Melbourne, not too much to discuss here. Salem's back in. So actually that is an interesting one. So Salem, he's 390k. He's got 2 games before he hits the bubble. Then, the Demons kind of have the round, 14 bye. So yeah, Salem has always been one that we thought could score well, but he's never really lived up to the hype. So be interesting to see how he goes here. Going to the next game then. So it's North v Sydney, and then as kind of predicted, it looks like Drury will keep his spot. We kind of thought with the injuries and stuff that it was probably more likely than not that he would keep his spot, because they had 5 players going out injured, and it kind of seemed like it was going to be, and they having a suspension, it was going to kind of seem hard to see him dropped, even though he did play a bad game. It looks like Curtis Taylor has been the one that's copped the axe here. We're seeing George Wardlaw in, so that's going to be a good one to get in 2 weeks. He's actually got the really bad bye though, which makes it kind of hard. But otherwise, will be interesting to see how he plays. He's been touted as a very good player. People with Will Phillips will be very happy to see that he's back and named in the side. And it looks like he is named on field. Is he named in? Oh yeah, he's named on a wing, so that's good for him. Tom Powell's back. I don't think anyone's still holding him. CCJ coming in off the big goal. I don't know much about Eddie Ford. 123k forward, so he might be interesting to see if he can get a few games under his belt, maybe be an upgrade, downgrade in the future. But for now, Drury, people looking at bringing Drury in, the guys who went early on him would be very happy with that. So looking at Sydney, as we kind of discussed as well, so Stevens in, and they brought in two ruckman. Oh, Hickey's injured, so that makes sense why there are two ruckman. But against North, it's kind of interesting because they don't have the biggest team. Like they're only playing Goldstein. Goldstein's pretty old. You think Laddens would be able to take him, but I guess they want to get some gains maybe into McAndrew. And as I was saying, well, the horse did say that there wasn't much below in the VFL to come in, so maybe this kind of speaks to the volume of the fact that they brought in two ruckmans this week, even though they're only dropping one. I guess that they may plan to play McAndrew forward. Some people did decide to start McAndrew ahead of Madden as the loop this year, and that would have worked out well. Now, if you're going to be able to get a scoring rookie, maybe not so well if you need a loop, but he had the second game this week anyway, so it doesn't matter. Will Gould has kept his spot. He is first on the interchange, so not sure about his security. Kind of like seeing them named on field. Goulden is named in the middle, which we love, and I'm definitely going to keep him as the upgrade this week in the Challengers team. And I think if you don't have him, you definitely could still go in because I think he's going to get a lot of CBAs now with Mills out. So, and he was scoring huge without the CBAs. Maybe he gets the CBAs and it affects him, but still very good to see for him. Moving on to the Bulldogs v Crows. So Tim O'Brien in. So there's not much here to talk about the Bulldogs. Keith omitted is pretty interesting it's very surprising because he is quite a good player. Roy Lobb is named in the forward pocket, which is also interesting because there's been a lot of talk about him being played on the wing. So maybe he's just going to start forward or maybe it's just for team sheets. Otherwise, James O'Donnell's kept his spot. So I think he debuted last week. O'Donnell, yep, and he's a 102k defender, so that could be an interesting downgrade option next week, which is nice. Arthur Jones still in. I kind of, could have probably looked at him maybe a couple of weeks ago just because of the fact that he does play for the Dogs and he did seem to be getting a nice run. Because even though he wasn't scoring well, like these first few scores weren't good, the Dogs have probably looked to be a good team, and if he could get on the end of them at some point, he was going to be able to probably get his price going, and that kind of showed against Carlton. So, how many teams have him? Only 2,600, but you would be happy to have him, so that's good for you guys. For the Crows, so Gallant is probably the big in here for Supercoach. Maybe Himmelberg. I think Himmelberg's cost way too much. Let's look at Himmelberg. 338, so you're not really interested in him. I think he's only played one game this year. Either one or none. No, he's played two, so he's on the bubble. So I don't think anyone's really going to be looking at him. I think Gallant was 208. So that's actually an interesting forward. But he's probably straight out the week after anyway. He's played two games, so he's also on the bubble. He had a 60 and a 62. So quite an interesting downgrade option, but I don't think he has any job security whatsoever with Thilthorpe only injured, and Walker managed. I feel like Walker probably comes in for Himmelberg, but yeah, whether Gallant can keep his spot once Thilthorpe's back, I just don't think so. I think the Crows are going to run with the 200 centimetre forward, who they're trying to develop now, who was a really high pick, and Gallant's probably going to be the one that gets pushed out with that, especially because they'll also have to make room for Murray, which probably means that the other guy we were speaking about, Patrick Parnell, would probably be the one to go out, but will be interesting to see what happens there. So for Fremantle, no change except Erasmus out managed, which is annoying because I did kind of flag him as a choice, but it does give you another week to kind of maybe use him as a downgrade next week if there's nothing there, but I think there probably will be some better options. I'm not sure. Well, the one above, I guess O'Donnell's probably a better option if he's going to get games. So otherwise, Fremantle not changing much there. It must be the sub that's gone in. It looks like Sturt's moved out of emergency, which sucks, and Matthew Johnson has moved into there. Looking at the Cats. So Jai Clark's out injured now, so he was the sub who came in. I must have totally missed the fact that he got injured. So it sucks if, well, it doesn't really suck because I don't think anyone had him, but yeah, anyway, that's one out. Duncan's now injured, so that's probably just an old age injury, I suppose. I didn't really see anything about that against Richmond. Same with the Oliver Henry injury, because Oliver Dempsey was the one who was subbed out, but now he's omitted. So interesting times there for Geelong, but good news for Nevitt holders as he has kept his spot, although it is the last on the bench, but still good to see. And Sam Simpson holders, actually, he has kept his spot and is on field, and that is a strange full forward, half forward line that they've named with Close, Stengel, and Simpson, all mid-sized forward, well, small forwards. And Jeremy Cameron as a forward pocket. Obviously, he's probably the centre half forward moving up the field. But yeah, good if you've got Nevitt, bad if you were looking at picking up Dempsey. And kind of what we did discuss with Dempsey in the last video. Another one is the line. So Rich has not been named, which kind of sucks. We'd love to see Rich get named. If Sharp kept, you'd probably go in this week. But without that Rich naming, it kind of really makes it hard to make the decision on him. If you think he's going to be able to keep his job, yeah, maybe go him. Like Leicester could be the one that goes out. The problem I see is that Rich comes back, Sharp goes out, and then you've got another dead rookie, and we honestly can't afford more dead rookies at this point in time. But then again, Daniel Rich could get injured at any moment anyway, so maybe not too bad. And then as we discussed with the Gold Coast team, so Ainsworth, Casbolt, Holman, and Nath. I don't know if I did say, but I was talking to a mate today about it. I don't know if I did say in the last video, but I thought that Awea and Barry were probably the ones that make way, because we were kind of just discussing about Bailey Humphrey and whether he can keep his spot. And I with Holman and Ainsworth coming back, and kind of said, yeah, I think it would be Awea and Barry. Charles omitted, so that's an interesting one. Rory Atkin holders would be rejoicing because he has kept his spot, which is annoying for those who didn't get him, but for those who did, they'd be very happy. Although I'm not sure whether he keeps it when Weller gets back, but I think Barry is looking like a sub here, so that's not great either. No one's got him yet, but and it could mean that his price goes down, but I'd say he's probably got a negative break even due to the scores he had. Probably the big news in this next game with Essendon is, well, Ridley's back in, so that's good for those who kept him for 1 week. Looks like he's only missing 1 week, but Setterfield's out injured, and he's reportedly got a fractured foot. They found a break in scans the past 3 days after the last game, after he had some some discomfort with it, and now he is out injured and probably out for a month at least. So Setterfield, if you have him, get rid of him, and Ridley, if you held him, looks like you can keep going with that. Now the midfield mix is going to be really interesting here. So Ben Hobbs, Archie Perkins, and Merritt named in the middle. So you'd think now that so Hobbs is 332k, I wouldn't go near that, and Perkins is same thing. So probably miss out. Leave both of them. Not the time of year for that type of stuff. Merritt is in the centre. Surely he's got to have more of a role in there with Setterfield going out now. But you never know. This could mean that Scott goes, oh, we need you to play more defensive, which would not be good for his bull getting abilities. Richmond, as suspected, Miller out, Hopper out, and Clark is the sub who's now out with, but Nane Curvis is back. And it was kind of flagged he might be back this week. Not the greatest for Samson Ryan scoring now, because Nate probably takes that main ruck. But maybe he can get up. I mean, like looking at Essendon's backline, they don't have the biggest back line in terms of size. So maybe, I mean, Samson's a big boy, so I hope maybe he can take advantage of that. But you'd suggest you'd think they'd have to put Cert Thatcher to him, but they probably got a re-walt. But it could be a big game for Ryan. Watched him 2 weeks ago against West Coast. He did show the ability to be able to take big marks, and it looked like a confidence thing at the time. So maybe this is the game where he really finds and gets some big goals. Hawthorn v West Coast. So Hawthorn have dropped injured Wingard and Gia, and then they have brought in McDonald, Green, Scrimshaw, Reeves, Brockman. Now, I'd suggest Reeves will play. Think. Yeah, it's always hard with these extended benches. So I'd suggest that Reeves is going to play. And Brockman, I think that McDonald, Fergus, and Scrimshaw were all missed the previous week. So GF out and Wingard out. Annoyingly, oh no, Mitchell is named on. He's named on the wing, so that's good. But for Weddle, thinking of the Crows there, Weddle is named on the extended bench, so hopefully he can keep a spot. I think he will. Think here with this, what do we suspect really? Yeah, this is kind of a hard bench to look at because I mean Hawthorn are playing West Coast, so they could do anything. But you'd think Morrison plays, Weddle plays. And I thought Scrimshaw was better, but apparently not. So maybe Brockman and Reeves. I'm not sure. Not sure. Who knows what Hawthorn will do now with West Coast, on the other hand. Chesser. So if you held on to Chesser, that's good. He's in. But he's on extended bench. And Noah Long is also back for those who held him. So that's good for those guys. Bazo and Zane True. So they would probably just be emergencies. I suspect that the interchange will be something like Jermaine Jones, Greg Clark, Noah Long, Brady Howe with Chesser, Edwards, Basil, and True, maybe the guys that miss as emergencies, but not sure. Brady Hugh probably could be in the Edwards position as emergency, actually, because I think Clark and Jones probably definitely play. I think Long, they'd want to get back in. He showed pretty good signs when he was playing. The thing is, they may want to slowly get him into the game because I think he played Waffle last week, but maybe they'll just try and slowly get him back in. But then again, maybe they'll just put him straight back in. Hopefully he's not sub. Carlton. So Carlton have just added 3 players, and looking on the bench, which is not good, is Chincotta. So if you have Chincotta, maybe don't put him on field. Maybe play him as an emergency, or don't start him and just wait until this is named. I mean, we've got time, so he'll definitely be named. His team will be named by the time that happens, but it'll be interesting to see if he actually gets a game. So not really much to talk about here. Collingwood, Darcy Cameron is in, but he isn't named on field, which is interesting. And Mason Cox is actually named at full forward. So, and they named Ash Johnson as the follower ruck. So you have to think Cameron's definitely playing, wouldn't you? And maybe, yeah, I don't know. This is a hard one because I look at this interchange, right? Crisp playing. McCreary, I'd probably say would have to be playing. Markov playing. Then you've got McInnes. So Harvey Harrison, definitely not. And you got Ginnivan, McRae, McInnes, and Cameron. So yeah, it's probably Cameron. Playing the 3 big boys is an interesting play by them. So interesting to see. Now, Matt Kennedy is named on the interchange here for Carlton. So I'd suggest that the interchange will be Kennedy, Hewitt, obviously. And then we've got I think DeConey won't play. I think he'll be emergency. Owie's probably emergency. Fisher probably emergency. And maybe Boyd, hopefully. So hopefully Chincotta can get a game, but I wouldn't hold my breath. He did have a bit of a shocker last week, and maybe they decided, look, we don't actually need him in the team that much. And he's kind of a little bit of a scapegoat for Carlton's poor form. And then the last game of the week is GWS vs St Kilda. So we got Riccardi, Fahey, Briggs, and Toby Green in. Callum Brown out. So, well, Green's definitely playing. And it looks like Angwin is also playing because he's named on field. So that's good for those holders. Clayton has also got another game. So a little bit of a downgrade option next week as well. And you'd think that he must be going to get a bit of time considering they do have the injuries there. So Clayton could become a quite good option next week. Looking at the interchange, so Ward has been played as a sub a bit. So yeah, I'm not sure about this interchange. I mean, Perryman's playing, Heatling would be playing, I would suggest, and then it's like what, O'Halloran, and then maybe Ward. Like they didn't play Fahey last week, so yeah, I can't see him being played this week, and I think Briggs will stay in as emergency for the ruck. Now St Kilda, and this is annoying because there's a lot of good players coming back in there. Well, two at least that are definitely playing. So King and Gresham are in. That's a definite. And then looking at the interchange, what would be Seb, Ross, Steele, Stocker are definitely playing, and then it's out of Butler and probably Cooper. Well, Cooper Sharman actually had a horrible game last week, so it's probably Butler. And then the bottom four are going to be the emergency, with Bytel being the sub. Bytel cannot buy a game, which really sucks because he would be a really nice rookie option. Maybe next year we're going to finally get him as a rookie option who isn't injured, because that kind of derailed him at the start of the year. He had that knee injury, which was like kick of the sprigs that got infected or something in his knee. But anyway, so yeah, it looks like Bytel's a sub and not making any money again for another week, probably going down to 100k. I wonder if we've ever had a player go under 100k, because Bytel could really be going to push that. So will be interesting. But yeah, so that's the teams. Nothing really massive here. Like a few guys we probably can write off as being options. So like Bytel, as I said, was probably more on if he was going to play. Like if he was named, then he's probably a definite in. But and even then, you could wait a week. Nothing much for these guys except maybe Weddle missing, but I doubt that. Nank being back hurts obviously Ryan. What else do we say? So yeah, Thomas Berry obviously out, and Awaya is out. But we have Sharp keeping. Whether he sticks with that, we're not sure. Fremantle not making any real changes. Geelong, obviously, Oliver Dempsey now not an option. Jai Clark injured, not an option. And Sydney, so obviously Gould is still here, so he's kind of an option, I think, even though he is only first on the bench. He's first on the bench, and with the injuries, he probably keeps his spot. Jury also keeps his spot, so that's good. I might go Drury, to be honest, just because of the cash. And actually, note with that Gold Coast game that Bailey Humphrey is last there, so that's interesting. It also could mean that he's not getting the role he had last week, so I could be wrong though. And then otherwise, Port have dropped Teakle, and Melbourne have not dropped any of the boys that we were playing. So could with Van Ruin and where is he? Where's Chandler? Yeah, Chandler's also here. All right. So that's the teams. Now, due to this Setterfield out, which is really annoying, I don't want to use a boost, because the way I see it is I want to keep those boosts for the buys. So, and there isn't that good rookie options. So what I'm going to do is update, not Hopper. I don't want to update Hopper. I want to update you to trade. I want to bring back in Chandler. So we'll put, Rosie can go in here. Rosie, and then we're going to bring back in Chandler, who's pretty much the same price anyway. Now, the problem is Chandler's probably going to go down. But what's our cadence looking like? So we probably won't have to trade him out until his buy anyway. By that time, it's kind of estimated he'll go back up. So he's probably going to lose 16k if he scores 69. He might be able to do it. I mean, Adelaide Oval is going to be hard, but then he has Fremantle, Carlton, which are probably going to be easiest games to score, and then Collingwood, and then we'll probably flip him on his buy where he should be at least. What's his price now? 357. So we're going to probably lose 12k. But that's probably just something we're going to have to deal with here because of that injury to Setterfield. Why are we having to play? Oh, it's because we traded Hopper, is it? And Golden. Oh, no, wait, because. Interesting. Anyway, so that's looking like what it's going to be here. And it's going to be important that maybe we trade one of these rookies next week. So maybe Baker or something goes because we're having to play him now, which kind of sucks. And this is kind of becoming a reverse rookie team because we were kind of getting rid of maybe Wiedering stuff. Maybe we shouldn't have done that. What's our history look like? Who have we got rid of? Trade history. So we went, yeah, that hurt. That Jerry trade hurt. I mean, Radaglia has made money, but Jerry's going to be a nice scoring player. Fife, yeah. Long, yeah. Yeah. So we were fixing the team a lot early. Fog, I think Fog would have lost money, wouldn't he? Yeah. So these are all good moves in the end. And then Flanders went to Dacos, which was good. Brune to Ryan, who wasn't playing at the time, so we had to. Kerno, we could have kept. So that's probably where we first went wrong. We should have just kept these guys. Got the rookies out first, maybe. I mean, the rookies have money to make. This is the hard thing about it because the cadence is so slow. Now, maybe next year, what I do is I get rid of maybe I just make it a 400k team, but we change it so that you can't trade in any premiums till after like the first price rise, because at least, I mean, that is a negative, and like at least it will make this team maybe competitive because we can just boost straight away and get 333. So maybe we'll do that. Because as the comments were today, it's like, what is wrong with the team? And yeah, the restrictions make something wrong with my team. I mean, it scores all right, but it could be a lot better. So as I said, we're going to stick with the Goulden VC into Darcy. I think that's going to be nice. We've got the nice loot, which is good. We have got Essendon giving Davey a game, so that's good. We've got an emergency there, so maybe we could loot. What do we got? Chester might actually play, so that's also good, and Chincotta might also play. So these are things we might have as well. So what are we going to do here? What do I want to do? Actually, I might make this Drury, and we can put you there. Make you Drury. We're just going to bank the cash because we're probably not going to need it. All right, so we're going Drury. He's got the game, and we can start looking at some loops. So we can loop. They're at the same time. Yep, I can. All right, so if green doesn't play, we can loop Drury into Ryan. We can loop Baker into Davey, and we can loop Chincotta into Mitchell if required. No, we can't. We can loop Mitchell into Chincotta unless Chesser gets named. If Chesser gets named, we're not doing the loop. Yeah. All right, so that's what the team's going to look like. So I hope you enjoyed the video. We had a bit of chat about the teams for the lineups this week. Leave a like, leave a subscribe. Leave a like, give us a subscribe. Cost you nothing, as I've said in a lot of videos. Leave a comment down below. Had a few of those in the last video, so that was good. Getting some more eyes on the vids, which is good. Getting some more people in chatting, it's good to hear. And if you disagree with some of the things I was saying, maybe with the teams or with the rookies that I thought as well, kind of have a chat with us, give us a comment, and I'll try and answer them. And yeah, let's just create some discussion because it's good to get different points of view because everything you do is not going to be 100% right, and someone might be able to offer something that you don't really know that can help you with your decision. So obviously this week we're going to go with Golden VC into Darcy. We like that. It's going to have to be a quick call, but should be fine. Otherwise, it's going to be hard for me to loop because I'll be working, but that's all right. Yeah, so watch out for the next video. I'm probably going to do a premiums one, and that will be up probably around the same time this video is up. So anyway, see you in the next video. Cheers.